So today we have a very interesting topic to discuss, and that is elevator pitch. Now, it's very common to ask a product manager, "You're building this product. Do you have an elevator pitch for it?" Or for a product manager to start thinking, "Hey, let me quickly have an elevator pitch ready for it." The interesting thing about elevator pitch is that the phrase itself, elevator pitch, and I think almost all of you know the idea behind this phrase is that you have few minutes with someone in an elevator, assuming that your cell phone is not working in that elevator. There's nothing, no other distraction. You have their full attention in those few minutes. How are you going to convey the most important aspect of your product that you're building and win their interest in form of maybe they're interested in buying that product or maybe they're interested in funding that product, right? So first question that I have for everyone, and I'm very curious about it, is that how many of you actually had an opportunity to go and pitch in an elevator? So have you ever done an elevator pitch in an elevator? I think I have done it once, and that too not for my startup, and that too in a very crowded elevator. But I've done it once in my 20 or so years of experience. But it'll be interesting to know your experience in that. As usual, what I want to discuss is a very simple methodology for creating the elevator pitch and kind of give some thoughts behind why it is formatted the way it is and share some example. And as usual, this elevator pitch format comes in form of a canvas, limited space, specific sections that you have to fill so that you have all the basics covered. And the idea is that once you have this elevator pitch, it's totally up to you. Do you want to repeat it verbatim, word by word, phrase by phrase, or do you want to take this as a baseline, as a template, as an expression? And then, depending on the situation, you are changing a phrase here or there. You're highlighting one aspect. You may be dropping some other aspect. It's totally up to you. Don't feel that you have to repeat this elevator pitch verbatim. However, once you do this exercise, you build this elevator pitch, it would have checked all the corners and would have made sure that you have thought of all these important aspects, and you would have actually um, thought about all the key information about your product that should be in part of that elevator pitch. Again, one more thing to remind people is that um, an elevator pitch may be relevant for a type of audience. So don't be surprised that based on if you're talking to a partner, you're talking to a customer, you're talking to someone who's going to probably fund it or has already funded it, you're talking to a developer, that different aspects of it get highlighted. So I've seen it more often that an elevator pitch has two, three versions depending upon the audience, one within the organization, one outside the organization, those way. So let's go deep and let me share my screen. Hope you can see my screen, and as usual, I will rely on a blog post that I have already written, and uh, elevator pitch. You can click here, and this is a very common format for the elevator pitch. I have not come up with this format. I honestly don't know who is the original author. So if you know the original author of this format, please let me know, and I will duly credit that person. But this is very popular. It is very popular format online, and it gets used in the organization where I'm working a lot. So what I've done is I've created a template for it. And if you look at the template, the elevator pitch is a lean innovation tool. It allows you to create a brief and easy to memorize description of your product and its purpose. So it's brief. That's very critical. And that's why I love the concept of Canvas, because what it does for me is that it forces me to focus on very important, crisp concepts and not become too verbose about something, too wordy about something. So that way it keeps it brief and easy to memorize. That's also important, right? Because ultimately the purpose of an elevator pitch is that you're going to repeat it um, hundreds of times, if not thousands, right? And it should describe your product and its purpose, right? Not just that I'm building this, but also I'm building this so it can, right? So the format, the way it goes is uh, very important to identify your target customers, right? So that's and then you say who your target customers are. And it totally depends upon the scope of your product, that the target customers that you're thinking of, are they a very narrow set of uh, uh, you know population, or they're a little broad, right? And it's very important to properly qualify them. So for example, you should not say for everyone or for every cell phone user, right? You should probably go deeper into it, for every mobile user who uses internet on their phone on the go a lot, or for parents whose children are between the age of I don't know, maybe uh, 14 and 16, if you're creating something which helps in academics, like this, right? You should have this target customer very properly defined. And narrowly does not mean that the size of the audience has to be small, but they're very neatly identified for anyone to understand, oh, this is your target audience. Who, and in the who section, you fill the statement of need or opportunity, right? What is the problem they are facing? What is the need that they have? What is the opportunity to create a new want? So have that kind of statement. Who and what is it that they're trying to do or not able to do? So that's where you make that statement. The You name the product is a product category. It is a SaaS application. It's a mobile app. It's an iPhone app. It's a downloadable piece of software that runs on Mac or PC. These kind of things, right? That, and then you talk about the key benefits or compelling reasons to use it. Now, key benefits means there could be multiple of them. My rule of thumb is specify two or three, not more than that. So that kind of describes the benefit of your product. So this is where the product capabilities become very important, right? And then finally, unlike, where you name your competitions, what is already available in the market. Maybe there is no product, but there is a default process in place. Maybe there is an alternative in place. Maybe there is a workaround in place. Whatever is that you're trying to disrupt or displace, you may add those. It may be products or some workarounds that have become part of the norm that you're trying to displace our product. And the difference here is that here you call out the primary difference, your USP. What is that singular capability that makes all the difference? So if you think about it, key benefits are something that may that may be present in your competitors also. So this talks about what are the key benefits that you have. But our product is that singular differentiation that your competition does not have, that sets you apart. So these are the capabilities that give you the right, or give you the puts you in a position to solve the problem or exploit an opportunity. So these are your key. And this is the one, our product and the statement of primary differentiation is where you stand out. So that's the format. The one recommendation I have is be ready to have multiple iterations. So in the first iteration, just write it down. In second iteration, start refining it. And in third iteration, finalize it. And the way to finalize it is read it aloud. Does it flow like a sentence? And many times, when we are thinking or when we are talking, when we are reading, we may not really hear ourselves that clearly. So if you face that kind of scenario, it's always good to have someone sit in front of you who may have little or no context and read it out to them. The things that you want to ask them is, first of all, does it feel like a natural flow? Are my grammar and tense of various words that I have used correct or not? Does it feel like one long though, but like one sentence? And then depending upon the context of the product and the knowledge of that person, you can ask slowly, hey, does this pitch make sense to you? And that is something that you will do thousands of times. You will keep on repeating this pitch to people based upon their questions, their reactions, what they say they understood, what they say confused them. You'll keep on refining it, right? So your elevator pitch is a continuously evolving pitch because of two reasons. One, you're refining it, and second, your product is also reacting to market, it's pivoting, and the product itself is changing, and hence your elevator pitch is changing. And the other reason is that yes, you're keeping on refining your elevator pitch. You adding some words, removing some words, adding some synonyms, adding some phrases, removing some phrases to make it easy to understand. Uh, as usual, I have given some formats. So this is your PDF version. You can print it out on A4 and you can write down if you want to. If you are, I want to type kind of person, you can use this Google Sheet. When you're logged in, if you go here, you can actually make a copy onto your local drive and then start working on it. You can fill these sections. And again, once you've filled it out, you refined it, you made it more crisp, read it back to yourself. It should feel like a natural, though long sentence. And if you don't have some other person to help you, you can read it out and you can record it, and then you can hear to the recording. And the first thing you need to get is that, is it coming together as a coherent piece of sentence? Is it coming together as a coherent piece of pitch? Are everything falling in line? And then as you go on repeating and sharing this elevator pitch with a lot of people, you will get feedback on what's working, what's not working, what phase or word is confusing and what's not, and you'll keep on refining it. And I said, like I said in the beginning, don't it's totally up to you. If you have created it and you like that idea, go ahead, cram it, right, and repeat it word by word, and you can you know you can make the pitch verbatim, or you can create variations on top of it. So that's about the elevator pitch. Maybe as an example, I'll share the elevator pitch that I had created for my many years ago for my own startup. We were creating an app. The name of the startup was Gungru, and the app was called Room Kids app. The elevator pitch went something like this. Though at that time, as it was evolving, it was a little different. But now I would put it this way: for parents of preteens who want a safe instant messaging for their kids, the RooKid app is a messaging app that allows parents to restrict their kids' messaging with known persons and children only in a safe and COPPA compliant manner. Unlike WhatsApp, Messenger, Skype Extra, our product allows parents to control the contact list so they know who the child is messaging with rather than what they are messaging. So that's the elevator pitch for Rootkit app. And to be honest, I use the structure to kind of structure my pitch, but over various kind of conversations, I have used smaller versions of it. Sometimes I have not used some specific aspects, like for example, when I was talking to some parents in US, I would especially call out COPPA compliance. It's a US law. When I'm talking to some folks in India, I may not bring up the COPPA compliance because that was not something that they were worrying about in that context. So, you can use the elevator pitch in a way you want, but I'm hoping that this format really allows you to spend a very structured thinking time around what your elevator pitch should be, and helps you come up with a very clear, concise elevator pitch. Thank you. And as usual, if you want to share your elevator pitch, send me an example and I'll post it here. And if nothing else, there's another web page that has an elevator pitch of your startup hosted on it. So there's little more chance of other people also discovering your startup. And you never know. You may encounter a new partner or customer. Would be interesting to hear out from you how long your elevator pitch has been. For Gungru, most of the time for Rookit's app, it was little less than 30 seconds, the version that I went with, but would love to hear it from you. So thank you so much. And I hope that the elevator pitch format helps you. It's a wonderful canvas. Though I don't know who the creator of this specific format is, would love to say thanks to that person and credit them. But I hope you do use this format and benefit from it. Meanwhile, do leave some comments on if you ever gave an elevator pitch in an elevator, and what's the typical time it takes to deliver your elevator pitch. Mine has always been 30 seconds or less, and it's always that question, right? What is the good duration? Should it be less than 30 seconds? Should it be less than 1 minute? Personally, I don't have any good reference on it or good research around it. And that's why I would love to start by hearing a few experiences. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.